was not at all how I thought it was going to be. And I don't want to hear this, well, yeah, we obviously had defense. What do you know? I don't want to hear that mess. I don't want to hear that. Because Georgia, and you're going out there, all the offseason, all the hype, everything everyone's made you guys to be, everything they're talking about, this offense. Yeah, we lost George Pickens, but he's the only receiver we lost. We got Blaylock. We got Eric Gilbert. We got these guys coming in. We have the weapons. We have JT. He's a leader. We have it planned out now. You got to have it together. I get y'all played a defense like Clemson, who has the best pass rush and secondary and everything. They're having the best defense in the nation this year. But there's got to be something, man. I don't want to hear that mess. I don't want to hear, oh, well, we just didn't want to be there, or we didn't have that. Come on. It's got to be better. There's some key things that could have happened. I'm just saying. I mean, wow. There's just so many different factors of what could have been in that game last week, my opinion. Again, I dropped the streamer link. Anyone is welcome on. We've only been live for 40 minutes. You know. But Georgia is in a position. They are a favorite for the national title this year, one of the favorites. I think it'll end up being Georgia and Oklahoma. Well, I mean, at least going into the season. I still think Oklahoma makes it there. I'm sorry to say that I don't think Clemson's making it to the title. Could they run the table, win the ACC? For sure. Right? Bama's better than I thought. LSU is like, you know, on a downfall. They had the 2019 season, and now they suck. Just call it what it is. UCLA, though, that's pretty interesting. Are they a Pac-12 dark horse? I would say so. USC, Oregon, Pac-12 is looking okay. There's a lot of factors that have already I mean, we already got some chaos. We already had some matchups and everything. There's so much stuff going on in college football, stuff to look forward to, stuff to watch. Just saying, man. Go ahead and look at these rankings here. Zoom in just a little bit. Oh, I don't want to go there. But, like, this season's already chaotic, if you ask me, for college football. Like, how much more chaos could we have? It's already it's not chaotic. We've only got started. I agree. But you just had a top 5 matchup in Georgia and Clemson. You have a powerhouse in Clemson. You have a up-and-coming in Georgia, right? You have Oklahoma, who against Tulane they look good offensively. But, of course, all the hype around their defense, that's crazy. Right now, as the playoff field stands, this is what you have, folks. You take the top 4 teams, Alabama and Oklahoma, and Georgia, Ohio State. Who are you picking? Alabama's in there. Ohio State, do you trust Ohio State? They barely squeaked by 14 points against Minnesota. They got the Oregon game this Saturday. That'll be good. But who are you taking? I'm not taking Ohio State. I take Georgia right there. I take them. I see a shootout. I think this is a test right here. If you're Alabama, your defense looked great against Miami. It's going to get better each week. But maybe you haven't faced a quarterback like Spencer Rattler. You haven't faced an offense like Oklahoma. Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know. Cincinnati's 1-0. Notre Dame beat Florida State the other night. Penn State's in there. Iowa State. I do think it's Iowa State and Oklahoma, obviously, for the Big 12. But when I look at it, 16-10 over Northern Iowa. It's not. I mean, congrats that you won, but Iowa State 16-10 with what we've talked about with Breece Hall and Brock Purdy. You put 60 Northern Iowa. I mean, what is happening in college football right now? This is insane. This is really insane what we're seeing right now. Where do we go from here in college football? Makes you wonder. We got a whole season ahead of us. We're just getting started. But would you say that this is probably the weirdest start to a season because of matchups and everything? I see my grandmother in here. Says Penn State could surprise. Yeah. I mean, they beat Wisconsin. That defensive front looked amazing and stout. It looked great. I just don't know. College football, where do we go? Notre Dame is in the top 10. Iowa State. Wow. I don't know where to go in college football right now. Penn State's barely in the top 10 after having a rough year last year. This is what your top 10 looks like, folks. Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, Oklahoma, Texas A&M, Clemson, Cincinnati, Notre Dame, Iowa State, Iowa, and Penn State. Or Penn State's right there outside the top 10. I guarantee you half of those teams are going to be in the top 10 at the end of the season. I think Oklahoma's in there. Ohio State's in there. Whether they make the playoffs or not, they won't fall too far, I don't think. I think Notre Dame could hit the top 10. Iowa State, Cincinnati. These are teams that are either we talked about them all off season, or we just know what they're capable of doing, or they're big, so we just put them in there because of brand, a recognition, whatever. Grandmother says Notre Dame does not belong in the top 10. Look, until they can prove that they can compete with any of these teams right here, I full on agree. Until they can prove that, Notre Dame doesn't go in the top 10. Now, getting back to the point of this conversation real quick, we could be seeing probably the craziest, but maybe the most interesting and exciting college football season. We've already had some great games. But look at that top 10 right there. Iowa State is a favorite for the Big 12. Oklahoma, obviously the favorite. Ohio State, obviously the Big 10 favorite. But do you trust them full on going forward? Does Penn State, after that Wisconsin win, they got something to prove this year. Penn State could get back to it. They could sit there and say, we are not the team that went 5 or like 3-5 or whatever it was in 2020. That is not Penn State. That is not James Franklin. That's not who Sean Clifford is or whatever, right? They got to get back to it. You've had an off season. Get back to it, Penn State. Get back to it, Iowa. Get back to it, Notre Dame. Notre Dame made the playoffs and all that, but still, like, Oregon's right there. Florida is undefeated. USC, Texas, UCLA's 2-0. When's the last time you saw them ranked or talked about? They just beat LSU. They could be a Pac-12 dark horse. This could be great. This could be exciting. They beat Hawaii 44-10. They beat LSU 38-27. This team, you gave up 27 to LSU, but LSU's pretty good. You can't. But let me tell you something. Dorian Thompson-Robinson has 390 passing yards in 2 games already this year. Zach Charbonnet, 223 rushing yards, 2 games this year, right? It's amazing, right? He's already got 4 touchdowns. He's got the longest rushing plays. Talking about Zach Charbonnet of UCLA, 47. This is incredible. This could be the craziest college football season ever. Is UCLA, they were a Cinderella team in March Madness. Are they a Cinderella team all the way around in sports now? Because now they're coming after college football. Get to the point here, and I'll end it on this note for this conversation. This season is far from over. It's just getting started, and it's off to a hell of a start already. I'm excited. My man, what's up?
What's up, buddy?